from next big things,
the youngest A-League scorer.
those who give the beautiful game its name, and sharpshooters who can't and won't stop scoring.
Adam Lafondra, Barisha.
All of it about to burst to life again in a month-long shoulder-to-shoulder sprint to the grand final.
What a wonderful goal!
Every bit of drama, brilliance,
Bruno Fornaroli!
and beauty, every bit of it all, live on the A-League's home since day dot, Fox Sports.
Two clubs with ambitions of causing a stir this A-League season, shaken somewhat by the departure of foreign managers who have returned to homelands, replaced by men from their respective backyards. In keeping with the times, both Brisbane and Adelaide have stayed local. Warren Moon and Carl Viet appointed respectively, and they have talented squads set to launch into the relaunch. It's the Raw and the Reds. A-League football on a Sunday night, live from the Gold Coast on Fox Sports. Check of the teams just before the two sides grace Seabus Stadium. It's a beautiful surface out there as well. Adelaide United, there's another debutant, a sixth. We count them, 6 debutants so far this season for the Reds, and Taras Gamulka is the latest one, the number 42, talented young player, 18-year-old, will control things in the centre of the park. As for Stefan Mork, well, he played 10 games for the Raw at the start of this season, and he will start in midfield alongside Gamulka and also Riley McGree, who has scored goals for fun from midfield. 10 of them so far from McGree. But there's Stefan Mork, who spent a bit of time in lockdown back in Queensland, where his partner resides. Did a lot of travelling, a lot of miles in the car. And it's Mork alongside Gamulka at the base of Adelaide's midfield for Carl Viet in Viet's first game in charge. As for Brisbane Raw, 121 days since they were at this particular venue against Newcastle Jets, winning the last game that they played before lockdown, and a goal there from Scott McDonald. And Scott McDonald scored 4 in 3 pre-lockdown, and he will lead the line alongside Dylan Wenzel-Halls. So experience and youth up top for Warren Moon to start this one. And in the centre of the park, Matthew Wright-Denton is a new face, but we know him well from the Hyundai A-League with stints at Wellington and Newcastle Jets. Didn't play a game for the Jets after Ernie Merrick's departure mid-season, and he's made the move in the break north of the border. Danny Kim, who was also a signing in the last couple of days, played a lot of football for Lions FC in the NPL in Brisbane under Warren Moon. He will start on the bench, and should make the point that Adelaide United have a very youthful bench as well, including the Toure brothers. There's Carl Viet, 18 caps for the Socceroos and 1 trophies with both Adelaide City and Adelaide United, and has the distinction, of course, of scoring the first ever A-League goal. And here it is on a platter from Ross Aloisi, not at home. Carl Viet, a very good striker on his day, and he had more than just a few good days, and that was the first ever goal back in 2005 against Newcastle Jets, and now this is his first ever game in charge after Kjartan Verbeek decided to return to Holland in the break along with his assistant Gerald Seaborn. Carl Viet is in charge. There's Warren Moon, who also played for Queensland Raw in 2005, the inaugural A-League season. And this is his first game in charge after Raw sorted out their managerial situation in the last couple of days after Robbie Fowler's departure. And Robbie Slater is alongside me, Adam Peacock, in commentary. And we have a delay, Robbie, because
there's a problem with the net.
The net isn't quite ready after all this time.
After 116 days. Well, it's longer now, isn't it, because we started. But look, this is a very important game for both these sides, looking to make the 6, of course, to make the finals in what is this run and very compact fixture list to a grand final that will be played, we think, on August 29.
At this stage?
At this stage. But, you know, you've got Adelaide sitting on 27 points, equal with Western United, who are holding down 6th position on goal difference. And then you've got the Wanderers lurking on 26 points, Jets on 24, but they've played 22 games. Western Sydney played 21, Adelaide 21. Western United, they've only played 20. So this is going to be a real battle, you would think. between probably those three, maybe the Jets, although it's looking a bit more difficult for them.
This is reminiscent of ALs on a Saturday afternoon in the park, putting the nets up. Bit of electrical tape needed to adhere the net to the post because we can't start the game with a hole in the net.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to take too long. That's the main point.
We won't require a Costa Barbarouses on the shoulder of someone type situation that we had at down in Melbourne one day. There's that young man that I mentioned in the team news, Taras Gamulka. Comfortable on the ball at the base of midfield, and this is his biggest test on a football pitch so far, his professional debut, and we wish him well at the ripe old age of 18 years of age. And Adelaide United, again, it's just remarkable what they've done with their kids and got so many coming through their system. They've obviously sorted out their youth system so well because so many make the progression to the first team. And Matthew Rydenton only signed officially 3 days ago. Went to spend a bit of time in Queensland, in southeast Queensland with family. Ended up getting himself a contract at southeast Queensland representation in the A-League. So Jamie Young's net, which he hoped doesn't need any testing in this first half, is okay. And we're about underway after a couple of minutes delay. Now we need a ball. That would be handy.
Someone's saying the ball's flat.
We're ready. We're ready. And after another little delay, the new era of sorts starts for both Brisbane Roar and Adelaide United. The net fixed, the ball is pumped up, and we're ready for some football. Robbie Slater, and this will be an intriguing first 10-15 minutes to see what imprint, if any, both new managers have made on their respective lineups.
Yeah, well, that was the big news, wasn't it? It came through. Robbie Fowler not returning, and Verbeek not returning. Of course, they have had plenty of time to coach and get used to the squad. Of course, the squads know them pretty well.
Giveaway from Jamie Young, and a shot early from Riley McGree, straight back at Jamie Young.
Yeah, big mistake, and took it straight away on the half volley. Pretty good connection as well, and Jamie Young very relieved that that came straight at him. But as I said, you know, they've had plenty of time. Carl Vett's been there pretty much since day one at Adelaide United, so he's very well known, of course, to the players, been an assistant as well. There's the mistake from Jamie Young, big one. Not sure what he saw there. That's
whatever it was, it wasn't right. It wasn't correct. Adelaide United with Carl Vett, he's been involved in the South Australian football system for a very long time on a coaching level, involved with the member association, if you like, various roles, and knows a lot of the kids, along with his assistant, Ayrton Andrioli, who has been the TD at Football South Australia. So across them both, they know every single talented kid in the state, basically. And another one making his debut tonight in Gamulka, and you've got Al Hassan Toure on the bench and Mohamed Toure, who have both scored and made names for themselves so far this A-League season. Noah Smith, the left back, as well. So it's good to see so many kids given a chance with the Reds. Brisbane Roar looks like it's back three again with two wing backs. No need to change. Warren Mood said that. There was no need to tip everything on its head, given that it was so effective as the season was progressing under Robbie Fowler. He's Scott McDonald will bring it under control, and he's been so good for Brisbane Roar since his mid-season move from Western United. They've lost just 2 games in 2020, Brisbane Roar, and only Sydney FC have accrued more points in the calendar year so far. Jack Hingert was meant to get married on June 4, but COVID tipped that upside down. Instead, he just had to post a photo on his Instagram with his partner sharing a cheese board in the park. It's Corey Brown, another player to make a mid-season move from Melbourne Victory, and he has it going. Got caught under the legs of Jordan Elsey. Could have been difficult.
Yeah, if that takes a deflection, it would have made it a lot more difficult for Izzo. He read it pretty well. You see here, strikes a good power, does take the deflection, and he's guessed the right way, and in the end it's a comfortable catch. But the fullback's very important for Brisbane with that three at the back, and Corey Brown raiding down the left and Hingett on the right. Both love to get forward, and it's really important for Rydenton and O'Shea that if those two go, or one goes, that they're compensating for that gap that's left. If that doesn't happen, of course, Gillespie or Neville fill that hole at the channels that open up when they go forward.
Opseth, they're trying to bring the ball down.
Big game for him. Big, 6 weeks for Opseth, who's not convinced since arriving at Adelaide. And Adelaide have had periods of, it's been black or white for Adelaide. They've either been very good or very poor.
Yeah. And they were very poor just before the break. A 4-game losing streak. Never lost 5 as a club in a row in the A-League, and they conceded 15 goals in that 4-game losing streak. And just a more settled-looking opening here. It's foul on McGree. But Opseth, the word is out of Adelaide that they're going to use him more as a target man to bring midfielders into play rather than asking him to get in behind and the game.
Well, he's not the kind of player that's going to go in behind. That's why we've got him playing with Haller and Miliusnic. They've got real pace out on the flanks, and if you're going to play Opseth and you want him to operate in that penalty box, then you've got to get service in. That means getting balls into the box. But Riley McGree is, of course, a big factor for Adelaide. When he's playing well, when he's on the ball, Adelaide usually play well.
Malker and Malt linking up with Ryan Strone. Switches out to Ryan Kidho. An interesting position all season for Adelaide United, that left-back role. Michael Maria, who with Verbeek went back to Holland in COVID and didn't come back. That's a good cross from Ryan Strain, and on the end of it is Christian Opseth. And that is a target man's goal, and that is the lead for Adelaide United. What a ball from Ryan Strain.
And that's it. If you're going to play him, then you've got to get service in, and it's not Halloran or Miliusnic. Miliusnic involved in the build-up as the ball comes to Strain. This is a terrific cross. Doesn't try to beat Corey Brown, just whips it in behind him into a super area. And Opseth, as a target man, that's what he's got to gamble. He gets across his defender, diving header. That's a brilliant cross and a really good finish. Really good header from Opseth.
His 3rd goal of the campaign. They've all come away from home. And a little glint in Robbie Slater's eye at that ball from Ryan Strain. And we'll have another look at it in a moment, because Tom Aldred thought he had it, but just the sheer velocity of the ball took it over his head, because it was just travelling like a tracer bullet right onto the forehead of Christian Opseth, giving the Reds the lead.
Well, it just shows you, if you get into that area, you don't have to necessarily beat the defender if you've got the technique to bend it, whip it around the defender. This is exactly what he did. He wasn't trying to pick anyone out. He was just hitting an area, and it was up to Opseth to attack it, and he got across Scott Neville and got himself a goal.
Jack Hingett, bit of width for Brisbane Roar, but cutting inside. Thought about it with the left. Looks out Brad Inman. Inman liking to operate down this left inside channel through midfield and supporting the 2 strikers. They'll come back out, and this is what they did so effectively under Robbie Fowler, is just keep possession, not give it away for giving it away's sake. The high possession team, Brisbane Roar. And that's neat from Mikael Jakobsen. Just considering giving away a corner or a throw-in. The back heel, if you don't mind, to allow his team to play out and come out through Ryan Strain. This is the very quick Ben Halloran, who wins himself a corner. All started with the presence of mind at the back from Mikael Jakobsen.
Yeah, it's a pretty good transition as well, but you did notice they went forward. There was a lot of space. Brisbane got really stretched there as they were attacking. Obviously, the back three didn't come out. They were 15 metres inside their own half.
Not a lot Jamie Young, who won't add to his tally of 6 clean sheets so far this season, could do about that goal. The young man, Gamolka, with the corner. In the end, dealt with, but not totally. Big man stay up from the corner, and Mila Jusnic trying to get on the end of that from Jakobsen, and it's another corner on the other side.
Good play from Adelaide. They've started much the better.
The big question with Brisbane Roar as well is Aidan O'Neill was so good for Brisbane Roar as the season progressed, and in a contract situation with Burnley and loan moves and the convoluted nature of transfers during, as we have a look at the live ladder, and that's a big goal in so many ways for Adelaide United. And a corner dealt with by Corey Brown. Jusnic. Halloran looking for a positive touch. Jusnic, McGree, Halloran working a nice little triangle there, and that is a goal kick. But yeah, Aidan O'Neill in his absence, and the role handed to Matthew Rydenton, just controlling the middle of the park for Brisbane Roar. He's a talented player. The whisper is that he might end up at Melbourne City next season, Aidan O'Neill. Whispers can be wrong, of course. Radar off for Jamie Young.
Yeah, they certainly started this game off the pace, Brisbane. I'm talking about pace, that's one thing that has been notable the 2 games we've seen. Sydney against Wellington and even Perth against the Mariners last night. It's the pace of the game. It's been very quick. Good tempo. But all the sides passing the ball really well, zipping it around.
Seabus Stadium, as you can see, is like a carpet. That's a good ball for Wenzel Halls to get on the end of, and he does. Nicely dealt with, good positioning from Rydenton. Doesn't shoot, shifts it across to Hingert in a very advanced position. One-on-one with Ryan Kidho. And Mikael Jakobsen, his positioning very good. Corner.
That was better from Brisbane. Good run in behind from Wenzel Halls. They switched the point of attack. I'm sure Rydenton thought about a strike, but it was a good ball out to Hingert. It's a really good block from Jakobsen. Low and hard he went, Hingert. And they come up with the corner.
So the set-piece specialist for Brisbane Roar, Jay O'Shea. First corner of the evening for Brisbane Roar. Decent ball, but Jakobsen, again, not for the first time in this opening 12 minutes. Right place, right time. As O'Shea, again, stayed wide after the set piece. Jesus, picked out Scott McDonald very well there with a flat ball that hit the former Socceroo right on the chest. Let's see what he can conjure up here. Nothing. And Brisbane, as they do, Robbie, they'll just wait for the right moment to cross. And was that the right moment?
Probably not that one, but the one before. Terrific crossfield ball from Jay O'Shea. Scott McDonald was trying to just make a half a yard to get a strike off, but they defended it well, Adelaide. Looked like a sloppy pass, and it was.
He just swung his leg at it, Jakobsen. 34-year-old. Here's the 38-year-old, Scott McDonald. Inman. Hingert joining in. Oh, Wenzel Halls didn't expect it to go there. He was waiting for something in front of him, and it came straight to him. It's not away yet for Adelaide United. It will be now. Stephen Moore.
Well, that was a chance for Wenzel Halls. It went the wrong way.
Seth, bounce pass. Milausnic, we know he's quick. He's not that quick.
He worked that well. Scott McDonald involved in the last few minutes. It's a good time for Brisbane. He's very important to them in the attacking third, but they worked it well. Hingett with the cross, and Wenzel Halls, not sure if he didn't expect it.
Gave Scott McDonald 2 more years there. He's 36, not 38.
Well, he'll be on to you. You give him an extra couple of years.
Can I suck up to him by saying he's playing like a 26-year-old? Corey Brown. Didn't quite get that one right. Not quite in tune yet, Brisbane Roar. There's the new man, Warren Moon. It's a foul from Christian Opseth. Brad Inman, who was in an amazing goal-scoring touch mid-season, could stop scoring. Scored 4 goals in 3 straight games from round 12 to 14. A drive from midfield, and goal-scoring midfielders rolled gold, as Adelaide United have found out this season with Riley McGree. 10 from midfield. Stephen Moore trying to link up with Opseth, but that's good defending from the Raw captain, Tom Aldred.
Yeah, I think the referee might have thought about a foul there. And Opseth, there was a strong challenge from Alfred, who really is the leader and the organiser at the back for Brisbane.
Aldred.
I've done that one before as well.
Right, Denton. I'm sure he's got a relation, Alfred Aldred. Crossover from Hingett to no one. Ryan Strain just made sure, nodding it on. By Denton. Nutmeg on Moore. As good as nutmegs can be. Lost possession. Opseth and Riley McGree joining up. And when does he set Milausnic on his way? He was thinking about inside Jack Hingett. In the end, he gave it to Milausnic on the outside, which gave Hingett the chance to...
Yeah, and that's a great battle because Hingett's very quick as well.
Is this too deep from Brisbane Roar?
Well, that's obviously what Warren Moon wants when they're in good possession. Come back to the halfway and then they press as the ball comes in. It's fairly common. I think we saw that with some of the games we've already seen. Pick your moments. When they don't have good possession, that's when you press.
A little bit too much mustard on that one. Not allowing Stephen Moore to get on the end of it, and Raw can come away. They were building through the season, Brisbane Raw, and it was something that Robbie Fowler had to sort out quick smart, was the defensive incapability of Brisbane Raw of the last season. 71 goals conceded. Well, he certainly sorted that problem out. So hard to break down. But Adelaide United have done it early on here. The 6-minute goal to Christian Opseth is the difference between the two sides so far. And again, Brisbane Roar get frustrated as they try to move the ball forward. Opseth, again, not for the first time, just a little link pass to continue the momentum up the pitch.
Good end result for Riley McGree because he had no support on that right-hand side.
When Ali Reza Fagani is out there in the middle, there is no question about who is in charge of the match. Iranian referee making Australia his home. Carl Jacobsen, we got a little flamboyant earlier with the back heel. I'm not entirely sure he tried to do a step over there, but that's what happened. McDonald and trying to link up with Wenzel Halls, doesn't quite eventuate.
Should have pulled that one down. Gillespie was completely on his own. You could hear his players tell him he had time.
Works out okay because they do get possession.
It was Aldred telling him time. And he still headed the ball, but as you said, they've got the ball back.
One of the Raw foreigners, including Macaulay Gillespie, who gives the ball away again, went home during lockdown. Tom Aldred himself, Jay O'Shea. They all stayed out here, preferring the sunshine in winter to the uncertainty of home back there in England. Scott Neville, that's a early ball out to Jack Hingett, who again has got space to drive into. It's a question of then what. And again loose.
Force pass, didn't need to. That's when you press now.
Yep.
When they've got good possession, Adelaide have done well, very well.
Got out through a great little pass from Christian Opseth, who will receive the ball now. It was actually Stephen Mork with that initial ball, and they've got 3 men in the box, and Opseth's cross is not up to the standard required.
Well, to be fair,
3 men waiting in the box.
Well, he was sent far too wide. They wasted that opportunity, 3-on-3. Now, Brisbane had the chance to press, and they didn't press properly, and Adelaide nearly punished them with a quick transition.
So it's a little more controlled from Adelaide United. I remember some of their first halves that they were involved with under Kurtan Verbeek. It was rock and roll stuff. It was end to end, and it was, you couldn't take a breath sometimes. I remember one day on Australia Day that the 4-3 at Whitten Oval in the west of Melbourne against Western United. That was just a crazy game of football.
Let's face it, Verbeek was a failed experiment.
They did win an FFA Cup.
Talking in respect to the league.
Fair enough. And Ben Halloran, who has switched sides with Mile Jusnic. Let's see if it's a first-time cross here from Mile Jusnic. It's along the ground when perhaps it needed to be strain-like through the air.
Yeah, and when I talk, you don't want to have a go at someone who's obviously left, but I think he's had a pop at Australian football since he has left.
They all do, don't they?
Well, I'm just saying that I don't think he was a great addition to the league. So put football aside, I don't think he was very personable, and he was definitely difficult to approach.
The vibe is from Adelaide. I had a chat to Stephen Mork on the Fox Football podcast. Without Stephen Mork saying it, he was saying that how much everyone was enjoying training. Now, that might have been because everyone was locked inside for 6 weeks in South Australia, or a few weeks less. But that man there, Calvert, coming in, and Stephen Mork was talking about the absolute enjoyment of training and everyone getting along and all on the same page. And turn over here, Dylan Wenzel Halls can drive forward. He's thinking about a shot. There's 3 Adelaide players in front of him, so he shovels it out to Scott McDonald, who gets it back across, and that is a very smart save from Paul Izzo off the head of Wenzel Halls. Still alive here for Raw. Paulie Gillespie, I don't know
what he was thinking.
Entirely sure who was going to get on the end of that, but Paul Izzo was up to the task here. Scott McDonald, in-point cross.
This is a terrific save. Good ball, and I tell you, it's not an easy header as well. And Izzo's lucky that he can't generate a lot of power, because there wasn't a lot of power on the cross and was slightly behind him, but that was a super save.
You can see there on the screens, Paul Izzo is doing something wonderful for the community there in South Australia. He has a little buddy named Ace who has gone through all sorts of things with childhood cancer, and Paul Izzo thought, what can I do to help the situation in a general sense? And he and the club have come up with a $20 donation per save for that foundation, the Childhood Cancer Foundation in South Australia. So well done, Paul Izzo. There's $20 well earned right there with that save. Wonderful gesture. Had an early one that went straight at him, so I think it's up to 40 so far, and he's going to do that for the balance of the season, for however long Adelaide United are playing football this season. Here's Jack Hingett, perhaps to test the palms again shortly. Brisbane Roar of Paul Izzo. Scott Neville. It's pretty static in the middle. It was only Scott McDonald moving for a cross. Corey Brown, Rydenton, Gillespie. Isn't quite on his radar working so far. That's a neat little turn from Brad Inman. It's congested. They're quite happy to sit in that bank of four inside the 18-yard box, Adelaide United.
Yeah, it's a good little period, this, for Brisbane.
McDonald dropping extremely deep to get on the ball there. Kool-Aid Gillespie, Newcastle United youth player. It's the first diagonal we've seen played out of the back from Brisbane Roar. Picking out Corey Brown. That one from Scott Neville. O'Shea asking for a foul. Fagani doesn't want to know about it, but here's Brad Inman in a little bit of space. Foul from behind by Stephen Mork, not given. The straight up finger wave there from the referee, didn't want to know about it.
Well, he was right there. But, you know, you start having contact with players in the box, you run the risk, but he's waved that one away, and that's poor from Corey Brown. This wasn't. That was a good ball in. It's good defending from Jakobsen.
It's a dangerous situation.
Well, he's coming to the back of him, and, you know, could go the other way. But Inman's first touch wasn't the best either. He gets it stuck between his... Certainly contact there, so that could have gone the other way. I'm just not sure why Inman would fall over if he didn't get a push.
Maybe one of those where you're expecting the contact and something goes through your brain to say it's coming.
Well, if you look at the picture, it looked pretty clear that there was some contact. But anyway, it's not given. There's no VAR, so we move on.
Correct. Jay O'Shea, that's a handball. Stephen Mork. Get this, Robbie. Stephen Mork, his partner, is still residing in Brisbane. She's got herself a good job when Stephen Mork moved up to Brisbane. So Stephen Mork 1 week did a drive from Adelaide to Brisbane, spent 1 day in Brisbane and then went back home. Drove 4,000k round trip.
Wow.
Commitment.
Hope he didn't get speeding tickets. You run the risk when you're going 4,000 kilometres.
Well, some of us are responsible drivers. All of us, actually. But yeah, that's a...
Well, you can be a responsible driver and get a speeding ticket, but anyway.
That's a long drive. That's a long, long drive. But and he went back there and he spent a bit of time training with other players from other clubs. Luke De Vere of Wellington Phoenix, and also James Donachie of Melbourne Victory, and a couple of the Raw players as well. He's good mates with Jack Hingett, so they had a little training group going at Perry Park some days. Those players, when they were allowed to, of course, with the regulations up in Queensland, when they relaxed somewhat after lockdown. Here's Matthew Rydenton finding a nice little avenue to feed the ball to Corey Brown. Likewise to Brad Inman. He tries the nutmeg on Jordan Nelson. He got his right heel and is lucky for that. And that's a foul as Adelaide United come away. A needless one.
You know, they're getting closer, Brisbane. Some good passing there. It's just that final ball or the final touch. Hingett lets Adelaide off the hook with that foul.
It was a bit cleaner in possession as they were working into that final third, though, from Brisbane Roar. Two nice little angles created. We're nearing a half-hour mark. You've just joined us. It's a Christian Opseth goal, his third of the season. Great run and header off a fantastic cross from Ryan Strain, who has given Adelaide United the lead. Jay O'Shea waiting for the cue for Scott McDonald to come off that last line and receive short, but in the end goes down this left-hand side. Again, it's very crowded there. I mean, all the territory has been from halfway to the left of screen pretty much. Adelaide United happy to just not...
Well, they're a very good counter-attacking team because they're a lot of pace, and Halloran and Miliusnic and McGree through the middle. Brisbane, as you pointed out before, are a possession-based team. And they've certainly got better as the game's gone on.
Strain gets through. Riley McGree looking for goal. He wants to use that left foot. He does. And he stings the palms of Jamie Young.
He does that well, doesn't he? Just works the defender. Came back, pushed off again. Here he goes, he takes off with hesitation here. And goes and shifts it again. He's able to get off the strike. And Jamie Young with a good save at his near post. I think that's the side you expect him to be protecting, but did push it away for a corner.
Most shots for Adelaide United this season, Riley McGree. That's his 62nd one for the campaign.
It's a wasted corner.
Isn't exactly a fantastic set piece. Here's the goal again, and this ball from Ryan Strain just totally took Tom Aldred out of the equation. That was that orange flash that went under the ball just before it got to Christian Opseth.
And you see from behind, great view of Ryan Strain, that he doesn't get his head up, he doesn't look, he's just hitting it, whipping it into an area and asking his number 9 to attack it, which he did. Fantastic cross.
You love to cross the ball. How much time did you spend honing that craft?
Yeah, quite some time. A long time ago.
Tidy work from the young man, Gamulka, to just keep the ball ticking over, and Ryan Strain didn't like what he saw in front of him, so back they come out and they'll go down the left here through Ryan Kidho. Halloran. Gamulka, it's a ball in behind, and Miliusnic waiting. Didn't quite get the timing right, but liked the idea.
You only need to get one right, don't you? And I don't mind that wingers taking a chance, playing off the shoulder.
They're moving the ball quick enough, Brisbane Roar?
Well, not at the moment, but I think they have. I think they've been pretty good values since around the 10th minute mark. They pretty much control the game. Of course, areas they could improve.
Joe O'Shea feeding Scott McDonald and trying to fashion something down that right-hand side, and Jack Hingett has gone in on Ben Halloran. I think it is out there. Ben Halloran had his debut in the A-League at this very ground, or the home side of this very ground, in Gold Coast United. Came through the Queensland Academy of Sport in Brisbane, and found himself at Gold Coast United. Made the move to Brisbane Roar before going overseas, playing in Germany and Japan, before coming back to the A-League with Adelaide United. And really enjoying his time in the city of Churches. He's had a very successful campaign as well. 7 goals for the campaign, easily his best output in his time in the A-League. Donald trying to use himself as a buffer and maybe win a foul as well. It's Inman. O'Shea thinks about a shot. 1-2 with McDonald, doesn't quite come off. And Scott McDonald gives the foul away, and Riley McGree losing his temper a little bit. And Reza Pagani using his whistle more than a busy traffic cop at an intersection with the lights out.
Yeah, Scott McDonald frustrated that the 1-2 didn't come off. Took it out on Riley McGree. Got himself a yellow card.
Worth the yellow card there?
I think it was the second challenge rather than the first one.
Yep. Ooh, that's a little bit left in there from Matthew Rydenton, and within 30 seconds, it's another yellow card. Stefan Mork, the victim this time. Matthew Rydenton just got his timing a little bit wrong. That's wasteful. Strain in an advanced position, and there's a little bit to it. It's the Queensland humidity, even in the midst of winter. Dylan Wenzel-Halls, who doesn't mind a bit of chat, let's say, or action as well. Remember the night he went up to Ryan Grant and gave his mullet a tug. No one pulls Ryan Grant's mullet, gets away with it. Ryan Strain. They're just happy to send it up to their last line, and again it turns over. Paulo Gillespie. A lid on that one. So Stefan Moore getting his own back, and he has been known to go in hard, and that's another yellow card. So
Oh, and that's great. It's just got a little bit niggly in the last 5 or so minutes. 2 yellow cards to Brisbane, and this one he tried to play the advantage, but Corey Brown, he got smashed as well. So Stefan Mork gets the yellow card, and Brisbane need to, and both just need to calm down a little bit. We talked about ball speed before, and Brisbane need to just quicken their ball speed when they're passing the ball. That's a good ball.
Jay O'Shea nearly, very, very nearly turned into a very dangerous situation from a very advanced Scott Neville. He's not the right back, he's the right side of a back three, but he's all the way up there.
Yeah, he's stretching for this, and he's trying to hook it back. He's done well to get there, really, because that skipped away on probably what is a greasy service. So you can see them watering it while they were warming up, but that's a bit of a spark, and that's what Brisbane need. They had a good period of 15 minutes or so, and then just come off a little bit, but that might spark them back here.
Maybe it's the niggle, but here's Brad Inman in a fair bit of space down that left side, not tracked. And that's wasteful again from Corey Brown, but maybe the niggle sparks something. Maybe gives them a bit of a shot. Don't mind it, though. Adds a little lovely dimension for us watching as well.
See Brisbane here trying to make Paul Izzo go long, so there's 3 across the penalty box.
All of a sudden, a lot of space. Ryan Strain. Mila Jusnic. McGree and Mork. That's Ben Halloran. A winger, but very, very central. Ryan Strain, let's see if he's got another good cross in him. He does, and it was a well-timed run of Christian Opseth, the goal scorer. And Gamorka, with his attention on winning the ball wins a foul. And Ali Reza Fagani has got a bit to do right now.
Yeah, he doesn't like people questioning his decisions. Wenzel Hall's just hesitate. You haven't got that much time. Gomulka does well, and in the end, he's the one that gets the foul as he's falling. Wenzel Hall grabs the shirt. I think it's a bit too far out for a strike. Jamie Young concerned, but only 2 in the wall for him.
Gomulka standing over it, but Riley McGree will send it to Jordan Elsey, but that's comfortable. Jamie Young.
Looking for a quick transition, Brisbane.
It's a good one to Scott McDonald, who brings Brad Inman into play. And there's space on the right, Matthew Rydenton. And out it goes. Lovely ball into the path of Jack Hingett. Neville. That's easy meat for Carl Jacobson.
Yeah, and that's dismal. I don't know why Hingett went back. He could have taken that on himself. He was one-on-one, and he elected to go back to Scott Neville, and that's, from a crossing point of view, that was a worse position once he went back.
That's experience over inexperience right there from Scott McDonald, who heard the footsteps of Gomulka, the young man. Just managed to get his legs tangled up to win this free kick in a dangerous, dangerous position for Brisbane Roar. Jay O'Shea is the set-piece specialist, takes the corners, takes the penalties.
Takes everything.
Takes the penalty so far this season. Brisbane Roar have only had 1. Big run-up. Get some pace on this. He goes top left, and that is a fantastic save from Paul Izzo. Wow.
Brilliant save. That's better than the save he made on Wenzel Hall's header. Jay O'Shea goes for goal. Good technique. It's an up and over, and it's coming down. It's going into that top corner at full stretch. Izzo to his right. His footwork was perfect. That's top draw.
That's a worldie. Corey Brown, a lot of space. Back post, Tom Aldred went down under the attention of Christian Opseth. There's 2 big humans going at it. $20 for the Cancer Foundation, Children's Cancer Foundation for Paul Izzo. That was worth more than 20. That was outstanding.
Well, Aldridge trying to play as an inside right there, and trying to trick the referee's assistant. There's the corner. Look at that, full stretch. Super save, fingertips. But his footwork was really good. As you see, 2 quick steps to his right, all in the blink of an eye as well.
Jay O'Shea, can't speak for him, but I dare say there will be a minor thought at some point in the last couple of minutes of how on earth can I hit that better and still not score. And Paul Izzo had a dangerous situation when the Adelaide United players went back for the first day of pre-season, when it was basically going to have a COVID test. He blacked out while driving and totaled his car, and luckily escaped with just a few bumps and scratches and a few stitches in his hand, but it could have been a lot worse. And it's good to see him out there, and good to see him coming up with world-class saves like that. Aldred all over the back of Opseth. That's developing into a nice little tasty contest. Here's the test inside the last 5 minutes. See how stretched it does become. Riley McGree thought about the shot. Instead, gets it out to Halloran. Didn't want to know about a left foot cross. And just in front of Stephen Mork.
Yeah, well, the deflection helped him. took the pace off it, gave him time to come for that ball, Jamie Young. And you saw the possession stats up, so Brisbane had the largest share and certainly more possession in Adelaide's half. So really, since that 10 minutes, Brisbane have pretty much bossed it.
Got an outstanding second half record, especially in the last half hour of games, Brisbane Roar. In terms of not conceding and scoring, most of their goals have come in that last half an hour, but they'd love one here on the cusp of half-time to equalise matters on the Gold Coast. Jay O'Shea waiting for the moment to cross, the right moment. It does come, but it's not quite there to get through to Dylan Wenzel-Halls.
No, it wasn't the best ball, but yeah, but that's where Wenzel-Hall's got to make some movement, not only him.
McDonald takes it on and blazes over with his left foot.
Yeah, pick this up. You can see, he sees Corey Brown out on the left-hand side and he's elected to take on the shot. Leaning back as he hit it. Not on his favoured foot. Plenty of power, but not the direction. Three saves from Paul Izzo and two of them top class.
It's a neat chest down from Opseth, and it releases in the end Miljuznic, who can have a shot at goal and hit the far post. At some stage that was going in, but it just drifted away with the momentum of the ball going that way. But it's still alive for Adelaide United. Big warning there for Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, unlucky. Brilliant ball from McGree. Miljuznic right low and hard across the keeper, and yeah, Jamie Young, you could just watch it agonisingly when it struck the post.
Brilliant diagonal there from Jordan Elsey to start something there with McGree, and away it comes, but didn't quite catch it. Got the direction pretty much right, but top spinning towards, and Ben Halloran, if he waits, he maybe gets it off the post. But he attacked it and it just went in front of him, so not quite. 2-0 would have changed half-time team talks. Gamulka, neat and tidy so far.
He's had a lot of work to do. So a lot of running, screening that back four.
Brisbane can break here. Wenzel-Halls and Inman trying to link up. Eye contact was made between the two.
Well, Brad Inman was someone who was in super form before the break, and we've hardly sighted him in this first half, and they need more from him.
That ball, it needs to be good to get the better of Ryan Strain, who's one of the better athletes in the A-League. There's a lot of pace about this Adelaide United side on both their defensive flank and also their attacking flank. Kiddo at left back and Strain at right back, and Miljuznic and Halloran either side. But that's half-time. Big warning shot for Brisbane Roar on the cusp of half-time, after in between when the goal was scored at the start and that one pretty much had control of the contest. But as it stands on the Gold Coast at the break at Seabus Stadium, it is Brisbane Roar 0, Adelaide United 1. And we'll be back in a moment to analyse the first half, have a look at the highlights, and can't wait to see that Paul Izzo save from Jay O'Shea once more. And the goal. We're back in a moment, live on Fox Sports.
Just a little hero. Using your Hyundai A-League club. Well, this is your chance to show us your action and win. With the return of the Hyundai A-League, we want you to share your support from around the grounds. There's plenty of ways to get creative and show us how you're supporting your A-League team. Show us your photos or videos, watch on TV on your couch, support your club by wearing the colours to school, work, singing and chanting to attend home, the supermarket, or even a local bar, or playing one of the heroes on the football pitch at your local club. Whether you're uploading your videos or your photos to social media for your chance to win. Make sure you use the tags #footballreturns and @A-League in the entries, and there's a thing of all for a uniform information.
Half-time on the Gold Coast, live on Fox Sports. The relaunch of the A-League continuing. We've seen a good goal and an even better save from Paul Izzo. That one will be replayed more than a few times, and we'll have a look at it in a moment. Adam Peacock alongside Robbie Slater for the half-time chat. And a statistical analysis points to a pretty even contest right now. 14 shots all up, 8 to Brisbane, 6 to Adelaide United. Territory pretty much with Brisbane Raw. Adelaide United, the more happier of the two to just sit and absorb a little bit, but certainly dangerous when they get things going forward in the right manner, and they did on 6 minutes. Robbie Slater with a cross and a goal of high quality. Ryan Strain finding Christian Opseth for his third of the season.
Yeah, it was a terrific goal and a great start for Adelaide, and what I like about this is he doesn't get his head up and he doesn't try and beat the defender. He shifts it and bends it around the defender and hits it and hits an area, and he's just saying for someone to attack it, and Opseth obliges, and that is a super cross and a super goal very early on for Adelaide. And I think, you know, after this, we'll see it. This is great. See, he doesn't get his head up, he just hits that area, hoping that he attacks the ball, and he does. But after the, about 10 minutes, I thought Brisbane slowly got into the game. That certainly shook them, and they started to create, their own chances. They weren't at their best, and it's to be expected. Like you said, this is the relaunch. They've had a long break, but they had a few good chances, and they certainly made Izzo make a couple of very good saves.
Let's have a look at the Brisbane chances, and where in particular did you see a pattern, Robbie, where it was emanating from when they did create good chances? Well,
it came, most of the attacks, the good attacks for Brisbane came down the right-hand side, and with Ingham getting forward, I think Corey Brown needs to lift a little bit on the left-hand side. Some of his crosses weren't the best. That was a good chance for Wenzel Halls. In fact, it's an air swing. We didn't really see it properly while that happened. This is a good run from him. He creates this because he nicks that ball, he plays it out, he gets himself into the box, not a lot of pace on that cross, so he's got to generate power, and he can't generate enough, so it gives Izzo time to pull off the first of two very good saves. This is the pick of them, though. Jay O'Shea with the free kick, and that's a world-class save. Fingertips, moves his feet well, and gets it up and over the bar.
And this one from Scott McDonald when he noticed Corey Brown. Perhaps the pass wasn't on there because Mila Jusnic was getting back to cover. It's Blazers high and wide. Riley McGree, he's been outstanding this season for Adelaide United.
Yep.
10 goals from midfield. His influence on the match so far.
Yeah, look, we've seen him in phases. Generally, when he does get on the ball, something looks like it's about to happen. This one, he just generates a free kick because he had no support on the right-hand side. But he starts a lot of the moves, and he plays as a midfielder. He's the one furthest forward, and they like to get the ball to him. This was right at the start of the game, and he was very relieved, Jamie Young, that went straight at him. But very comfortable on the ball. We know he's quick and normally plays the right kind of pass, Riley McGree.
Yeah, the balance with he and Stefan Mork and the young man Taras Gamulka working pretty well for Adelaide United at the break. But we saw it right there with Scott McDonald and Riley McGree squaring up, that out of nowhere on about 35 minutes, a bit of niggle started to come in. Is that frustrations after a long break and you get a little tired towards the end of your first competitive match back, or was there something else you noticed about it?
No, I just think it's incidents that happen within a game, and it just happened that three happened very close to each other. And I thought it was a bit harsh here. Stefan Mork had a poor touch there, and Rydenian sort of paid for it. I didn't think he did a lot wrong. This was after two quickfire Brisbane yellow cards, and Mork commits a foul that wasn't that bad, but I think the referee just thinks, oh, well, I better give them one. So it ended up, but it did spark a little bit, and of course Adelaide had that big chance right on the stroke of half-time when Mila Jusnic struck the post.
Yes, Jamie Young thankful that it did as he watched it bobble and bounce towards that far post. He was stricken toward the near post. And coming up, of course, we've got plenty of A-League action on Fox Sports on the way. Our next game will perhaps be a trophy-defining game. Sydney FC need one more point to seal another Premier's plate. They'll take on Newcastle Jets, who start their relaunch campaign under Carl Robinson, with a number of big names back, including Joe Ledley, which is good to see. The Jets, who are in form under Carl Robinson, they knocked off Melbourne City in the last game before lockdown. See if they can do the double over the other team in the top two, Sydney FC. That one on Tuesday evening, live from 7:30 Eastern on Fox Sports. Looking forward to that one. Adam Lafondra again in the goals on Friday night, with Sydney FC getting past Wellington Phoenix at a wet Cogra. So the second half is not too far away from the Gold Coast. We'll be back in a moment. See if Brisbane Roar can continue their great form in second halves. They're going to need to be good to get anything out of this one over Adelaide United, who have the lead. This is the moment once more. Strain to offset 1-0. Back in a moment with the second 45 minutes live on Fox Sports.
Well, here they are. Let's make some noise and welcome them back to Simba Stadium. Go, Brisbane Roar!
Second half about to get underway on the Gold Coast, with Adelaide 1-0 leaders over Brisbane Roar. And there's Mohamed Toure, his brother Al Hassan, his elder brother Al Hassan, also on the bench. But wonder when we're going to see Mohamed Toure. It's a good thing about these new laws. There's 5 substitutes allowed, so you can empty the bench. And a lot of young players, 4 20-year-olds and a 16-year-old on the bench for Calvert and Adelaide United, as Al Hassan nearest to camera. And Al Hassan Toure, that one of the moments of the season so far, not in the A-League but in the FFA Cup final, winning the Mark Viduka medal and then coming up with a crucial goal for the Olyroos. Underway in the second half. Brisbane Roar with a bit of work to do. Robbie Slater.
Yeah, and Adelaide as well. I think Calvert will be saying they sat back a little bit too much. He's offside.
Just.
It must have been close.
Just. It was close, and Adelaide caught out and they were still in the dressing room right there. Cut apart.
He heard that whistle, Scott McDonald. He's got to be careful. Thought he had a yellow. But, yeah, I think Calvert would have been saying, you know, we sat back a little bit too much at times, invited pressure. And I think he'd want a little bit more from their counter-attacks, of course. And it's only 1-0. For Brisbane, it's chasing the game. Remember earlier in the season, Robbie Fowler was absolutely filthy. They seem to concede every game, and they're always chasing the games. Well, they've done the same thing here. So they have a lot of work to do. They had good periods in that first half, but there were times that they could have moved the ball quicker. They need more from the left-hand side. Most of their good attacks came down the right-hand side.
Well, that has been Brisbane's trouble this season, scoring goals in the first half, just 7 of them. 16 of their 25 have come in the last half an hour. So they run out games well. It's just getting themselves into the situation where they have to get something out of it instead of protecting something.
Well, we remember one. Well, it's quite possibly the game of the season so far against Melbourne City. Poor old Jamie McLaren scored a hat-trick and still finished on the losing side. Melbourne City were 2-0 up. They were 3-1 up in the second half, and Brisbane with a remarkable comeback to win that game 4-3.
That was that great day at Redcliffe, which hopefully will be used in days to come for Brisbane Roar as a second base. Boutique Stadium. Certainly a different complexion to the games involving these two sides last season. There was that 5-3 on Anzac Day at Suncorp Stadium, a 4-3 in another game. It was in the midst of the worst season Brisbane Roar have ever had in the A-League. They've certainly turned things around as a club this season. Turned around the ship. That's a great ball diagonal out to Jack Hingett, who can drive at Ryan Kiddo. He's up to the task defensively.
It was didn't even have a trick there. That was obvious from Jack Hingett. Ball out to him was good. His first touch wasn't the best. His first touch, he cushions it in front of him. It makes it a lot easier.
It's wasteful from Opseth. He did the hard part right, taking that first touchdown, and Hazel Hall's a tricky one for Paul Izzo to deal with. It's another save for the Cancer Foundation, but just skipping across that dewy surface.
Yeah, I thought as he's taking this, I think he's maybe got a better option, but he hits it quite well, and you're right, it bounces, skims off the surface, and it was an awkward one for Izzo to deal with, but he dealt with it in the end, and they cleared it.
And Scott McDonald. A few more bodies in motion has McDonald received then. And here's Macaulay Gillespie.
Oh, that's a waste. You could see when he got the ball that he was going to do that, and that is an absolute waste. Warren Moon would be shaking his head. You just have to say it to Gillespie. You know, you're a centre-half. Show me the last time you put one in the top corner from there.
He scored 1 goal this season, but it was from a corner with his head.
No, but he had Corey Brown outside, and you see Corey Brown there, who's completely unmarked. It's better work from Gillespie.
Scott Neville and Hingett. And it's a horse not quite on the same wavelength as Scott McDonald. Nearly gets away with it with Gary Jakobsen's first touch. No, Hughes, that's clever. It's a Good way to relieve a bit of pressure, and Riley McGree can bring Ryan Strone into the equation. It's so crucial, that first touch when you're under a bit of pressure. Robbie looking to alleviate the problems.
Well, particularly in tight areas like that, and there's a poor touch.
Ryan Kiddo looking for Miljusnic to lengthen stride, which he can do so well. One of the quickest in the A-League. Back inside, top corner, not far off.
Good idea.
Not far off.
Yeah, right idea. Super ball from Kiddo. Releases Miljusnic with his pace. He's away. His first touch was pretty good. It just took it completely away from the defender, and he just couldn't wrap his boot around it quite enough. It was the right idea going for that top corner. And that was just a quick transition, wasn't it? I think they won the ball back, had 2 touches, and 3 touches later, Miljusnic is striking at goal.
It's the second one so far inside the first 5 minutes. Jordan Elsey did one that landed on Paulo Gillespie's chest, but maybe it's an adjustment from Carl Veer to stretch out Brisbane Roar at the start of this second half. I see a lot of long balls from Adelaide United in the first half.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the long ball when it's like that. You know, he's obviously, Kiddo's got his head up. He's seen Miljusnic check, and off he goes. Perfectly timed run to not be offside, and there's nothing wrong with that kind of ball. It's nearly produced a goal.
Space here for Scott Neville again. McDonald.
Too clever
with Rydenton.
It's too clever.
And that's too clever as well from Opseth, when there was a better option closer to him to transfer the ball. So it's a bit of end-to-end stuff at the moment. Shea and Inman got himself into space. Here's Wenzel Halls out smartly. Is Izzo? He's on his game tonight.
Best chance of the night. Really good play from Brisbane, opened up Adelaide. Wenzel Halls one-on-one. That's a good save from Izzo. Again.
A lot of space for Brisbane Roar's back three to drive into when they're playing out at the moment. There's something that's maybe been identified by Warren Moon. These adjustments that coaches try and make at half-time. Jack Hinkett for a second beyond Ryan Kiddo there, but the ball held up. McGree's caught after it, but fair enough nudge off the ball, according to Ali Reza Fagani. By Denton and McDonald. More space here for Jack Hinkett. That was a weird-looking attempted clearance from Jordan Elsey. McDonald's going to have a shot, blocked.
I should have played Hinkett in. I'm not sure if he knew he was there, but Hinkett completely unmarked to his right-hand side. A good play from Brisbane. They've upped it a little bit.
And this is trouble. That's quality target man work from Opseth. Let down by the touch of Nikola Miljusnic.
Well, it's because he's thinking about what's coming rather than just concentrating on where he's going. And what a chance that was. They were 3-on-2 there.
Yeah, Halloran was on his bike straight away as soon as Opseth brought the ball under. He was off and running too. It was a dangerous counter-attack, one of the more dangerous ones that Adelaide United have had.
It's a great start to the second half.
Yeah, it's end-to-end. Better tempo to it as well. Mork. Taras Kumulka, who drops back into the to make a back three on that occasion. Haven't seen much of that so far, preferring to stay where he is, and look how stretched everything is.
What
here
a pass from Jacobson.
Riley McGree picked out by the Dane. Miljusnic, see if this is a little better. Not quite, still.
Well, heavily involved, getting a lot of the ball, Miljusnic, in the last two. This time it was a mishit cross, but what a pass that was from Jacobson.
Halloran wants a shot. Ineffective.
Here's this chance. Clever disguise pass. That's a good save. It's underneath him, but he manages to just get enough on it. It's 5 saves, and 4 of them have been quality.
Already up to the 100 mark. $100 mark for the Children's Cancer Foundation that Paul Izzo is supporting off his own bat. $20 per save out of his pocket, the duration of the A-League season. And this is big for Adelaide United because they've got a lot around them at the moment, with Western United still waiting to relaunch their season, Western Sydney Wanderers, Newcastle Jets, even though they don't have the amount of games to play as opposed to the teams above them. Adelaide, huge 3 points if they can hold on to it here in the Gold Coast, or maybe build on their 1-0 lead so far. Here's Riley McGree.
Well, you say it's big for Adelaide, it's big for Brisbane as well. They're still eyeing second spot.
Ball beyond Opseth. He's been pretty good tonight. A little more comfortable in this setup for Adelaide United. Here's the games left, by the way, for Adelaide United. It's not an easy run in. He's got all the teams, including this one, above them, essentially, with Wellington next in a couple of days' time as we come away here with Brisbane Roar, then Perth, City and Sydney as well. Inman brings in Redenton. Menzel Halls turning, twisting, shooting, rebound.
Got to toe it in the end, didn't have any time to get backlift on it. Got a little bit of luck. It just opened up for a split second. There he rides it. This is the one where he gets a bit of luck. Goes through Jakobsen, then he's got to take it really quickly and improvises with a toe, but no power.
Not easy with the ball spinning either. Here's Riley McGree. A lot of space for McGree in this second half. A lot of space. Little push. And will be our first substitution of the evening. And this is a good moment here for a young man who was at Brisbane Roar as a youth player. Couldn't quite break into the first team equation at Roar, so he went away and joined Lions FC, one of the powerful clubs in the Queensland NPL competition. Danny Kim making his A-League debut. 21-year-old who Warren Moon describes as the finest young midfielder in the state at NPL level. So that's why he's got his chance. Warren Moon knows him from his time at Lions. Warren Moon's successful spell there, winning trophies and making national NPL finals. And there's another substitution coming. Talking of talented young players, we know a fair bit about this young man already. Good night for Christian Opseth, his third goal of the campaign, but Al Hassan Toure. Wait to see what he's got. One of the players we're all looking forward to seeing with the A-League back. And he's out there now, but not much to do right now. He's running back towards his own goal with the rest of his teammates in white, because here come Brisbane Roar forward again. Danny Kim, his first touch as an A-League footballer. Corey Brown getting tangled up. Has a pop with his non-preferred right. Now, will that be... No, because it didn't hit the referee. Not a lot Ali Reza Fagani could do.
Well, Fagani's not going to take any blame. He's not the kind of person that looks like he's going to take any blame. But Corey Brown, after being hindered, was a little bit silly to take the strike on, because it was never on after being... Well, after having the referee interfere with his run at the ball. But he still decided to take it with his right foot.
Al Hassan Toure straight into that position occupied. Christian Opseth. He can play across the front three, but suited as the central target man, Robbie.
Well, I think he can play anywhere across the front line, so that's where he's playing for now. You know, he's got license to roam right across from right to left.
Picked out by Hurtan Verbeek in the pre-season, which is basically a year ago, as a talented player with the youth team. He said, why isn't this young man training with the first team? Along he came, scholarship contract, gets a run in the FFA Cup, scores 5 goals, wins them the FFA Cup, were a big reason why in that final against Melbourne City. A fantastic night at Cooper Stadium. Scored 2 goals so far in the A-League, but picked up a foot problem when he was away with the Olyroos when the under-23s qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. He scored a crucial goal against Syria at that competition and came back with a stress fracture in his foot. This is his first A-League action since that tournament in January. Here's Jack Ingett. It's good defending and a neat little move from Ryan Kiddo, and Adelaide United can come through Mork and McGree and Lejuznic. Not quite sticking under the boot of Riley McGree, but on he goes, driving into the 18-yard box. Al Hassan Toure taking up position. And he couldn't get it, but he does win his side a corner, Riley McGree. Now we're into the most successful period of the season for Brisbane Roar. Short corner here to deal with. Kamulka can't quite get it over the first man. I'm quite aware when that man came short for that, that corner there, Brisbane. A bit delayed in sending someone out with it, but doesn't look like it's a short corner this time. Tall Timber waiting inside the 6-yard box. It's a neat little shimmy there from Jay O'Shea coming out. That's an Adelaide ball. Surely.
Didn't see it. Didn't see it. He made the gesture, the referee, but he didn't see it. So Hingett just confidently picked the ball up and took the throw-in.
As you do, three more games after this. 3 more games after this one for Brisbane Roar. Melbourne victory when they're eventually allowed to play football again. Wellington Phoenix as well. It's a neat little shot, and I thought for a moment there that was going to end up in the back of the net off the head of Jordan Elsey. Out of nowhere, really, a good moment for Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, well, he had Hingett on the outside again. He's ignored him, taken on the shot. You see the 2 men there. Izzo just palms that because it was low and hard, and no one sniffing for Brisbane to head that into an empty net. Adelaide reacted first, but another chance for Brisbane. They've had some.
O'Shea with it, and Izzo
didn't
look at all tonight.
Yeah, didn't look a good decision when he started coming, but it's a good decision the way he dealt with it in the end. Yeah, he's having a pretty good night. Paul is up.
Ansel Halls, who's heavily involved in this half, finds the advancing Corey Brown, and again a wasteful cross from the left. Danny Kim in no rush to really keep it in there.
Normally a good crosser of the ball, Corey Brown, but it's been a little bit off tonight in that respect.
McDonald, and it's Scott Neville driving through, perhaps intended for Jack Hingett with the run cutting in, but Jakobsen again is aware to the danger.
Yeah, he's been big tonight. A lot of interceptions and the pressure mounting on Adelaide.
Kim. O'Shea.
Easy one for defenders, that.
Just floating up. Al Hassan Toure wasn't exactly looking to hold things up.
Well, he had 5 orange shirts around him.
Al Hassan v the world.
Oh, takes a chance.
Oh, Kiddo.
Well, it's okay, because he's not nodding it down to the oncoming Raw player, but Tried to cushion that one down to Izzo and gives away another corner.
It was good work by Scott McDonald, though, just to...
Pressure.
Yeah, a little bit around the back there to go. Put him off where perhaps he wanted to send it, which was back to Paul Izzo. So another corner for Brisbane Roar. Jay O'Shea, can he pick one of his teammates in orange out? The best option, perhaps Aldred. He's the tallest. And went under it. But here's a chance for Wenzel Halls. Doesn't get any kind of meaningful purchase on it. Getting stuck there again. Brisbane Roar. Usnich needs some pressure relief here. Adelaide United not going to get it.
Needed some help. Brisbane controlling it completely at the moment in respect to possession, territory. Adelaide still very dangerous on the counter. They haven't had one for 5 or 6 minutes now.
Inman picks out Jack Hingett, and
his first touch lets him down again. Well, he gets the foul, and it's a pretty good position, but with a better touch there, he's got a really good chance to whip it in. There's the first bad touch. There's the second one.
There's the third one from Ben Halloran.
Yeah.
A little mo growing there for Ben Halloran. Defensive duties to complete right here after giving away the foul. O'Shea or the in-swinger from Corey Brown?
Well, the way Corey Brown's been crossing it tonight, I'd go for O'Shea.
Jay O'Shea. There's only 4 on that last line. There's 7 Adelaide United defenders. Brad Inman is just waiting for that drop down. Danny Kim's ready for something as well. Oh, he knew nothing about that, Scott Neville. Nothing at all.
That's just hit him. Because I thought it was too flat. The free kick from O'Shea, and everyone was kind of static. Adelaide players and Brisbane players, and you look, there's flicks off Torre, actually, at the front. He should have dealt with that better, and Paul Izzo rooted to the spot as well, just watched as that ball trickled past his near post.
A couple of goals this season, Scott Neville, against Central Coast Mariners, and another against one of his former sides, Western Sydney Wanderers. You know a little bit about scoring unintentional goals, don't you, Robbie?
Nah.
Goal-scoring machine for the Socceroos. That one goal.
Hey, listen, if you're going to score one, make it memorable.
One more than me. I would have taken one off any part of my anatomy. You scored off your backside.
Well, Brisbane
more than happy with that.
Would take anything at the moment.
Exactly. Danny Kim. The substitution in his first A-League appearance.
And Adelaide quite content to sit back. They only had 2 deep. That block there, and Brisbane moving the ball around.
I wonder if he can absorb 22 minutes of protectionist football and sitting that deep and just trying to hit them on the counter again. We've seen it time and time again, but
you see that ball into Inman there. He's hardly mentioned him.
Izzo's complaining about a bit of contact here on the head. Wenzel Halls being Wenzel Halls. Bit of a nuisance. It's a good ball into Inman, who just turned straight into trouble with unaware that Gamorka was there. And Riley McGree's won the ball back, and off and running is Milo Usnich. Should be good to make something out of this.
Yeah, Brad Inman's been very rusty tonight.
Gamorka spotted the diagonal run. Stephen Mork.
Oh, he's done well, Scott Neville there. Twice. Danny Kim is going to...
Gamorka is smart there. He's shut that down from Danny Kim, and back Adelaide United can come. A rare foray into the final third, and a wasteful one at that after that from Ben Halloran.
Yeah, lesson there for Danny Kim, who's just come on. Just move the ball in that position. No need to run it. Take a risk.
Milausnic and Kiddo. Looking, gets the rebound. He's all the way through here almost, and has a look around to the referee after the attention from Tom Aldred, who's turned around and given him a bit of advice about his
Well, it's so
gravitational forces. Here's Ryan Strain across the deck. Milausnic gets a bit cute, I should say. He is quick. He tried to get a bit cute there with the finish.
Oh, that's a great chance. He's there at the near post and he gets contact. You think that he's going to score there. The ball gets away from him. No, there's nothing there. Aldred actually pushed out. This is a good chance. There's Milausnic, perfect position. Just missed the ball. That's a real chance. And Strain knows it. It could have been his second assist.
Rare good moment. And the whistle's gone. Play hasn't stopped. It was a rare good moment for Adelaide United in this second half, where it's really been all Brisbane raw.
Is he given a free kick for foot up?
Looks like it. There's going to be.
I think that's a poor decision from Pagani, who seriously, I know he likes to be in control, but sometimes he comes across a little bit arrogant.
Overbearing on occasion.
There's no way. For me, that's a foul. He's clearly won the ball. He's going for the ball and he's won it.
So Gamulka comes off. And it's a double substitution. So Stefan Mork will go back into the defensive midfielder position, which has been occupied by Gamulka. On comes George Blackwood. And Mohamed Toure is out there for Nikola Milausnic. So the two Toure brothers. Mohamed, the 16-year-old who scored that wonderful moment against Central Coast Mariners earlier in the season. And Pagani, now play or stop here, it'll be a drop ball. The team in possession will get back possession. No, Stefan, the referee has to drop the ball. It's the rule. Or is he giving it to Brisbane?
Well, Brisbane actually, the tackle. So is it Brisbane's ball or Adelaide's
Kim
ball?
didn't touch the ball.
Well, he
made
did.
the tackle.
Well, he's giving it to Brisbane.
Okay. Interesting. It's the first time in an A-League game the two Toure brothers are out there, because when Mohamed made his debut, Al Hassan was injured. So it's a great moment. I dare say we're going to see a bit more of it, but at the moment it's all about defensive duties for everyone for Adelaide United, notwithstanding a chance a couple of minutes ago. See how far back Toure has to go to cover the run of Hingett. And Carl Jakobsen and also Jordan Elsey were aware to the run, stepping up a little to try and keep Hingett offside, but they've given away a corner. And more substitutions coming. Like a game of basketball at the moment, the benches. Nikole Gillespie is feeling his hammy. It's like top of his right hammy, and he's come off for another young player who's made a little bit of a name for himself so far this season. Jordan Courtney Perkins, a 17-year-old, perhaps involved here. He'll go up for this header. Kiddo is there. Aldred has a pop. And in the end, it's enough bodies in the way for Adelaide United.
Yeah, super block from Jordan Elsey.
Nothing sticking when they go forward at the moment for Adelaide United. They're under constant pressure. Here comes Jay O'Shea. Wenzel Halls, one-on-one with Strain. And Paul Izzo, you're going to have to be good tonight to beat Paul Izzo. And that's not up to standard.
Here's the block for that. Tommy Aldred letting go with the volley. Elsey with a great block, and that one from Wenzel Halls makes half a yard down the outside of the defender. That was a easy save for Paul Izzo, but still a save nonetheless. Adds to his tally.
It's good to see Jordan Courtney Perkins out there for Brisbane Roar. The Joey went to the Under-17s World Cup, 5 appearances in the league, debut in the FFA Cup, that big win over Sydney United way back when. Here's Mohamed Toure. Try and find a shot. Here's Al Hassan Toure off the pass from Riley McGree. It's so narrow there for Adelaide United. Off again, it comes off Ali Reza Fagani. That's the rule. It has to stop. As soon as it hits the referee, it has to stop, even though if advantage is available, it has to stop, and Adelaide United will retain possession.
Well, that sounds like a stupid rule. If they've got possession of it, why come back to give them possession again?
I'm entirely sure, Robbie.
They were in a much better position there. Surely it should be, if the ball hits the referee, but if it stays with the team in possession, just play on. Anyway.
Rules are rules.
Apparently.
Halloran.
That's a strong tackle.
That is a strong tackle. Jordan Courtney Perkins.
Yeah, Fagani's had a few this evening, hasn't he? He's not mobile enough.
He needs some.
He needs to move a bit.
Needs the ladders. Needs little mini hurdles. Quick feet. I'm not going to bring it up with him. The man in control. Adelaide United, they've got the lead. I wouldn't say they're in control at the moment. They've got what Brisbane Roar don't. And that's something out of this game to protect. Walker, a sloppy touch which he gets away with. And Ryan Strain, who's been pretty good for Adelaide United tonight. One of their better players. I'll be pretty happy if this pans out over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Adelaide United, not a lot of pressure on the ball. Very, very comfortable in possession. That's dangerous when Riley McGree's on the ball. Courtney Perkins getting a little muddled up there with Corey Brown. Now it goes for a corner.
No rush to take it either, Riley McGree.
Why would you be?
Yep.
In whips the corner. George Blackwood has hit the bar.
I was just about to say, once it left his foot, he's gone curly, George.
He's grown out.
Yep. And what a super ball from Riley McGree.
Speaking of curly, that tail on that ball just...
And he's unlucky, George Blackwood. That's a decent header. He's just trying to guide that. His pace on the ball, so he didn't have to generate any pace. He's just deviated. And he's looking to go past Jamie Young's right-hand side, and he did that. But unfortunately for him, against the crossbar.
George
And they'll have the chance now to have their corner.
Blackwood's most infamous moment of the season was scoring a penalty and missing one in the same game. Crazy night at Cooper Stadium earlier in the campaign. It's off the bench tonight for Carl Veer. Preferred in midfield, where he was playing a bit as a number 10, Liver Bay. Sometimes a striker when he was preferred to Christian Opseth, who got the goal on 6 minutes for Adelaide United. Good ball from Jay O'Shea, finally getting the ball where he wanted, which was on the bounce of Tom Aldred, who couldn't quite add to his goal that he scored so far this season.
Well, like
he can't quite work out how he hasn't.
Like Riley McGree, great delivery up the other end, and this one as well, super header, super delivery. And Tom Aldred, it's a little bit behind him, he's leaning backwards, but he'll feel he should have scored. It's a free header in the end.
Scored what turned out to be the winner against Adelaide United at Suncorp Stadium earlier in the season in a 2-1 success where Brisbane Roar came from a goal down, having to do the same here. Oh, that's a nasty one. Al Hassan Toure was going in on Tom Aldred, who got there first. Interesting to see how Fagani deals with this one. Jamie Young came racing in, imparting a bit of advice.
Al Hassan Toure not very apologetic.
Didn't miss.
That should be a yellow card.
If the one last night
It's
from
a
the run,
reckless challenge, dangerous challenge.
Ivan Franjic, who was going for the ball last night over Danny De Silva.
To be fair to Lassiter, I think he's apologised right there.
Yeah.
It's good from the youngster. And Tommy Aldred showing how tough he is.
Give yourself a yard. Jack, no feet. Jack, no feet. You're doing nothing there.
A bit of advice there. Fox Sports microphones picking up the...
He's had a good game, O'Shea, in the middle of the park for Brisbane. Good feed again there. Now they've got 10 minutes plus whatever's going to be added on.
Warren Moon's happy for his tall timber to go up again. I saw him pointing at the bottom of screen, so Jordan Courtney Perkins, who is certainly, you dare say, at 17 years of age, an early developer, about the size of Tom Aldred and Jay O'Shea. They're the two ones at the top there. And attacking it that time was Scott Neville. So another set-piece opportunity goes begging for Brisbane Roar. Difficult to find the right man from that part of the park. It's got to be spot on that cross. So they've got just over 10 minutes to find something, Brisbane Roar. Adelaide United, after making the trip up, and tomorrow they'll fly to Sydney to start their hub campaign to see out the A-League season. Warren Moon, what can he tinker with here to find something in this last 10 minutes? Pencil Halls. I wonder when Mirza Muratovic might be included. Ben Halloran, that's smart. First time, didn't give the defenders inside time to adjust to where the runners were coming from. And away it goes. Scott McDonald. Inman.
Haven't seen much of McDonald in the last 10 minutes. Brisbane need him in this closing period.
I just wonder, Muratovic, who we saw when he was coming off the bench and scoring a couple of goals off the bench, he's smart in and around the box. If he can be utilised, looks like he is coming on, the young man. Hingett got his angles wrong there off his left foot.
Right, Adelaide give it straight back again.
Looks like a Marty Holloway as well, the Welshman who's had his injury worries this season for Brisbane Roar. He's about to make a nuisance of himself for the last 10 minutes, so he'll be a handful aerially for Jordan Elsey and also
He's doing it late. He's waited a long time for this change.
That's a well-timed run from Hingett. See if there's quality on the cross. Hands are up. He saw it.
It's hit his hand.
He saw exactly what everyone else in the stadium, including those in orange, thought they didn't, and that was a deflection from a legal position off Mohamed
How didn't
Toure.
he see it? Well, if we haven't seen the replay, unless I'm...
Substitution coming right now, so...
Here we go, Hingett with the ball.
He's adjudged to off his chest and hasn't got arm. It's...
Yeah, it doesn't. It looked dead set handball in real play, so...
So Inman and Wenzel Halls making way for Amadi Holloway and young Mirza Muratovic. Mickey, they call him. The 20-year-old. Brown. Neville stays up. O'Shea. With his left, he'll have to do it. Floats up. Izzo comes for it. And that is a confident claim. Gee, he's been good tonight, Paul Izzo.
Man of the match at the moment. It's coming to... Elsie will have a sore back in the morning, but that's commanding your area. Yeah, it's floated a little bit too high from O'Shea that gives Izzo the chance to come and get it, but he did it confidently, made the decision early, and that's exactly what you want your goalkeeper to do. It doesn't matter who's in front of you, you go through them. And that And that time, it was his own player, his big defender, Elsie.
McDonald, a long way from home, where he wants to be. Strong from Neville, but in the end that has to be a foul. And here we go. Here we go. Ex-teammates, Stephen Mork and Scott Neville. I mean, if it was a yellow earlier, surely he's getting his name scribbled down here. No, just the calm down. Stephen Mork didn't want any part of it, really, because he is on a yellow. Robust.
It's WW, what was it?
UFC. That's what Isaac Richards, who's played a game this season when Paul Izzo was injured earlier in the campaign, the goalkeeper, that he's actually retired from football. Adelaide United in the break. He's taken up MMA. Scott Neville's obviously a fan. And Marty Holloway, got a bit of pace about him. He's looking to hold it up. I don't think he's got more pace, though, than the man who's marking him there. He's got a bit of strength. Bounces off Ben Haller, and it's a dangerous cross, but no one on the edge of the 6-yard box for Brisbane Roar.
No, and it's, you look at that, that's, you know, it's not a bad ball in, but as you said, Scott McDonald had pulled off to the penalty spot, and nobody made a near post run.
Deal with that, Al Hassan Toure. Against Tom Aldred with the ball coming down from space. Danny Kim. It's a lovely ball out to Jack Hingett, who just couldn't quite get his footwork right to receive. Another substitution coming. Michael Morone, by far and away the most experienced man on the bench for Adelaide United tonight. About to come on for his 223rd A-League appearance, third all-time Adelaide appearances, over 150, and Riley McGree is the man to make way.
Yeah, Riley McGree, excellent match in patches, I would say. Morone, obviously this is a defensive move.
He'll just go and sit in front of that back four with Stephen Mork and absorb as much pressure as possible.
And there's the possession. You see Brisbane having the majority of it. Thought it might have been a bit more than that. Pretty similar to half-time, so they've had plenty of ball, Brisbane. Look at that, 71% last 5 minutes.
There's more coming with the about 5 minutes we've got left.
Yeah, you don't think that's going to change?
Ryan Strain does well to cut out that diagonal out to Corey Brown. Halloran would love to relieve some pressure here. Adelaide United. Mork does well. It's not over yet. Kiddo. Blackwood.
No, that's
well
good
played.
play. Yeah, good play from Adelaide. Holding on to the ball. Brisbane going to have to push.
It's Halloran. Michael Morone is it. I haven't seen him play much of a defensive midfielder role. He's usually right back, played a bit of left back. Played a lot of the start of the season as a central defender. Talented man. He's building his own home with his bare hands in the Adelaide Hills. Lovely part of the world. He's onside here, Marty Holloway. Beating the offside trap. They thought they had a good line and caught Brisbane offside there. Elsie and Jakobsen, not so, but Maroney's over there to disrupt the play. Ball first touch from Blackwood, so pressure back on. 4 or 5 minutes to find a winner, or an equaliser, I should say, and perhaps a winner. Brisbane Roar. A club known for late drama. Kim. And Aldred, they're happy with this Adelaide United. The ball moving side to side, a long way from the 18-yard box. See how cluttered it is there. That's handball not given. Hingett has stayed alive here. Mohamed Toure switched off for a second.
Scrappy piece of play.
That's what Adelaide United want. They want this to turn
Holloway
into...
got a second chance, didn't he? Because I think Fagani missed a handball and then it was a poor pass. in the direction. Does it come off his hand? Yep, clearly.
But it was in his silhouette, so that's the rule as well.
Oh, is it? So you can open your palm up and just palm it in front of you, as long as it's in your silhouette. What a stupid rule that is.
Robbie Slater. Fans of the friends at IFAB, International Rules Committee for Football. Write a letter. Adelaide United would just be happy to turn this next few minutes into a pile of junk right here and preserve their 1-0 lead. Brisbane Roar. What questions can they ask?
You see that block, that's difficult to break down. They're going to have to move it quick. And you know what? You got Amadi Holloway now. Change it. You may as well. It's desperate now. Get the ball wide, sling a few into the box, see if Holloway, as we've seen in the past, can, you know, cause some trauma in there.
McDonald, tired touch, perhaps turning inside.
I thought he had a pretty good first half, Scott McDonald, and hasn't really been in the game that much in the second half. He's one over the top.
He's been the offside trap here. If it does get over, it does in a sense. Amadi Holloway has a go from outside the box.
Just tempted him, didn't it? Just sat up.
As well.
And he takes it first time and screws it right across the face of the goal. Yeah, it was one of those you just couldn't help but take on.
Quickly can they get it forward? It's only 3 men forward for Brisbane Roar. They haven't exactly thrown the kitchen sink up there that you sometimes see. You wonder if they get one of the central defenders to go and occupy a space up there. Marty Holloway twisting and turning and physically, unfortunately, giving away a goal kick.
I'm sort of with you. I can't understand why they haven't thrown more people up there. And, you know, injury time with this guy on, you may as well. Yeah, I know it's not pretty and it's ugly, but who cares? If you can get something from it, I would be slinging balls into the penalty area and see if something drops, create a bit of chaos.
Love a bit of chaos. Here's Paul Izzo, who saved his side a bit of chaos tonight. Don't know why he's shaking his head. He hasn't done a lot wrong tonight. He's just annoyed at himself that was perhaps about 2 metres off the mark. Maybe a bit central. Moreno again just trying to disrupt.
Too late. That ball needed to come straight away out to the right-hand side. Got an overload. Yep, got an overload.
Amatore couldn't bring the ball down. And McDonald, his ball, he's not good enough, not quick enough to beat Ben Halloran. Kim, aware. Hingett. Time, seconds, whittling away here. Scott Neville with a sight. And Muratovic couldn't quite turn on it, but Pagani has seen a foul on Neville, played a little bit of an advantage, and this is going to be the last chance. So is it going to be Jay O'Shea and Paul Izzo once more?
It's a long way. Izzo in his form, it's going to have to be something special if he does shoot from this distance. Really don't have much time to do anything else but shoot. You're going to have to shoot for sure.
So O'Shea perhaps on the wrong side for a right footer. Corey Brown is over the ball as well. He's the left foot option there. I'd be amazed if he's able to overrule Jay O'Shea. A tall timber of a 4-man wall right there for Adelaide United. O'Shea, is he looking at that top right-hand corner as he sees it? He sees it a bit lower, but actually it goes into Amadi Holloway. And that is that. Adelaide United, a huge win to start the relaunch for them. They're now entrenched in the top 6. Huge win. They leap over Western United. They have 5 games to play at the start of this reset. They win the first one on the Gold Coast. Brisbane Roar drop one. So they missed the chance to leap above Perth Glory after Glory's win over Central Coast last night. In fact, they were in front of them, but as it stands right there, that's the end of the story for this one. Brisbane Roar 0, Adelaide United 1. And we'll be back in a moment live on Fox Sports with reaction, the highlights, plenty of them from that man, Paul Izzo, who was superior to the rest this evening, and the other players that took the field for Adelaide United and Brisbane Roar to relaunch the season. So we'll hear from a couple of players. We're back in a moment. Yeah. Stop that. Yeah.
Yes.
Where they're ingressing miles 1, 2, 3,
Good.
4 and 5.
And then
Follow directions of stadium staff and exit towards your original entry
good.
point.
And then
The remainder just stay in the seats until your
and then